Warning, these are some scary plane landings. This wasn't the kind of traffic stop a Washington State trooper expected to make in 2019. When a small plane lost power, the pilot searched for a place to land. The trooper saw the plane coming down, so he turned on his flashing lights and pulled behind it to block traffic. He followed the plane as it prepared to land on the busy road. Somehow, the pilot managed to stop just in time for the red light. And then it was time for a not-so-routine traffic stop. The trooper got out of his car, tapped on the plane's window, and ensured the pilot was okay. He was, and thanks to the quick thinking of both men, no one was injured. In July of 2022, this plane came in for an emergency landing on a busy 4-lane highway. Incredibly, the pilot landed the single-engine aircraft without hitting a single vehicle. Vincent Frazier was flying with his father-in-law over the Smoky Mountains in North Carolina when the engine suddenly failed.
I looked at my father-in-law and I apologized to him because, I didn't know what the outcome was going to be. So I told him I was sorry and that I loved him and helped me find the best place that we can, land without hurting anybody. We looked to our left and there's just a road right there that you couldn't see because of the mountains and the trees and the valleys. There's vehicles driving under the aircraft. So I'm trying to dive faster so I can get ahead of them. I knew that I had to stay calm to keep my father-in-law alive and keep those people on the ground alive.
This pilot who landed this plane in 2021 was praised for his professionalism and coolness.
Mayday, mayday aircraft, just experienced a engine failure, need a turn immediately.
The captain did come on and he said that we were going to make a landing, just a normal landing. So it was kind of a relief for everyone just to hear him talk and, be calm.
Ladies and gentlemen, please remain seated with your seatbelts fastened. Thank you.
We did say it would just be a normal landing, differentiating between an emergency and a normal landing, which to me, I took that as, okay, everything's cool. We don't need to freak out. Everything's going to be okay.
There were tears of relief when the plane with 231 passengers on board safely returned to Denver's airport.
The pilots acted exactly how they've been trained. They did a professional job.
Debris from the engine landed on homes and streets outside Denver.
I stood up and looked outside and opened the door and I turned to my wife and I go, "Oh, that's the front cowling of an engine from an airplane." And she goes, "What?"
It also triggered a slew of 911 calls.
It almost landed on my head. Well, what are you calling about the airplane incident? We're getting blown up with 911 calls.
Afterward, all the passengers got to Hawaii to start their vacations.
The pilots did a great job and we're happy to move forward and enjoy our week.
In 2017, motorists on a Florida road got the scare of their lives as a plane crashed right next to them. Deputies caught the dramatic scene on dashcam.
It's a plane that just crashed on me. Again, plane just came down.
The single-engine plane was seen trying to pull up, but then clipped a tree and crashed right on the road. Incredibly, the pilot and the passenger were not injured. This is an incredible landing caught on tape that a Ryanair pilot made flying into Madeira Airport, aka Cristiano Ronaldo International Airport in Portugal in October of 2022. Madeira already has a reputation for being one of the most challenging airports in the world, and uncomfortable looking landings are quite normal. On this particular day, the pilot had to battle high crosswinds as they approached. As they try to line the plane with the runway, you can see a gust of wind pull it to the left. The pilot calmly goes with the flow while the plane is approaching at an angle. At the last moment before touching down, they're able to straighten out to a complete beautiful landing. According to Simply Flying, Madeira is the third most dangerous airport in Europe, and crews must undergo extra training for the opportunity to land there. A rule we're sure passengers are grateful for. For Inside Edition Digital, I'm Andrea Swindall.